Welcome to Golden Islands. Today I'm playing Neverwinter Nights 2, the expansion Storm of Zehir. This is a game that I like the beginning of. The beginning is very good. It's very well made. It has lots of possibilities of going in many different directions, and I really like the beginning. So let's get started here. When I play these RPG types of games, I like to create a backstory just in my head about where the character comes from, who the character is, and things like that. So depending on my mood, I choose a different type of character. Today I want to play as a human, and I want him to be a farmer. Well, a former farmer who then becomes a favored soul. So his background is that, let's select how he should look. That's awful hair. His background is that he was a farmer, and sometime around, let's say, 14 or so, that looks good, right? Sometime around 14, no, let's go a bit brighter, his talents began to develop or manifest. So he's a favored soul, and he's neutral good. He will do what is good, but it might not always be what's good for the law. He will try and follow the law unless the law is stupid, and then he will go around the law. So he's neutral good here, and he is the favored soul of the god Ogma, which is the god of knowledge. So basically that's the motive behind him. He's inspired to find out new things, to learn new things, and of course to learn new spells. Even though favored souls, they learn it naturally, I want to modify this little bit in my little version here, that they can also learn spells by finding old scrolls or old books and figuring out some way, somehow, a little bit about the spell, and then he learns it like that. So let's go in here. Wait, first the characteristics. I like to take everything plus minus 0, so I have something to start with, because I don't like having any negatives. So the favored soul needs charisma, so he's a very charismatic, or pretty charismatic person, and also he's pretty smart. So 16 in smart, and he has somewhat wisdom, because he's smart, thereby he gained some wisdom, and he is a little bit strong because of, well, what do you call it, inheritance. He inherited some of his strength, and he's been a farmer, and so he grew up in a little village, and he is a farmer here. I don't want to select that. He was not a bully because he's natural good. He wasn't devout. Favored souls are rarely devout, but he wasn't devout. He wasn't a farmer. Well, he was a farmer, but I'm not going to select that. He wasn't a ladies' man. He wasn't. But he is a natural leader. And I'm not going to select that because it's not so good for me. He's not a tale teller. He's not a troublemaker. Not a wild child. Praiser. Yes, I think so. Confident, he is confident. He's not a foreigner, he's not a veteran. Okay, so he's a praiser. So he grew up in a little village, and sometime around 14 his skills or talents began to blossom, show. And there was a cleric in his little village, or close to his little village, and the cleric trained him a little bit, and that's how he learned his basic skills. It wasn't the cleric of his deity, but it was a cleric that would train his basic skills, because the cleric was also in the good area, so either was lawful good, neutral good, or chaotic good. I'm thinking maybe lawful good or neutral good, and that's why he trained them the basics. But also our hero here, our adventurer, our character, he also, in his village, he learned how to tell when things were worth something and worth nothing, and he was able to tell, approximate the price of things, the value. So that's how he gained the appraiser. But and he began making a little bit money there, selling and trading. So that's why he got good at appraise, good at lore, little bit worse in spot, in bluff, in sleight of hand, because he was working, buying and selling. Actually, he should have been better at bluffing there, but yeah, sure, you can't be perfect on anything. So let's customize. So of course, this is what the cleric taught him, and what he learned on his own. He learned concentration, diplomacy, healing. He's a good healer. That is also what it is. He's a good healer. So he learned not only the spells to heal, but also the actual physical things to do to heal. He studied pretty much, and favorite soul of the god of knowledge. Of course, he has high lore and high spellcraft. He's also good with his magic. Wasn't that much of a fighter, and he learned a little bit crafting alchemy, crafting armor, crafting. He learned the basics from his buying and selling. And sometime there, in between where we are now and where we will be later, he migrated to a little bit larger city. Still pretty small, pretty medium, but it had a temple of Ogma, I think. Yes, I think that. So I'm gonna save 1 point. It's gonna carry over. But first we're gonna learn here. He is a spellcasting prodigy. He is good with his magic. And of course he is an able learner, which does the thing that if you train in something that isn't blue, one of those skills that isn't blue, you only spend 1 point instead of normally spending 2. And of course, favorite soul of the god of knowledge. Okay. Also, I've turned off the sound here because the music, when you create your character, can become a little bit loud and repetitive. So he's good at healing. He's good in these things. I'm gonna save this one for later because that is something he learned later. He learned first the healing and the protective things. And divine favor, he can call upon that if he needs it. And what more? Let's do, he can do a sanctuary. Yeah, why not? Why not? Ooh, the name here is difficult. Toman. Oi, Turt, Carry, Brina, Methant, Borin. You know, names are so difficult to get a good name here, and I'm not all that good in getting a good name. Vishan, Nikki, Harto, Sand, Welter, Arto, Bros, Shields, Bros, Jacko, Dicky, Kashal, Barney, Cher, Waller, Peric, Toman again, Roder, Benny, Timo, Larto, Mouse, Nori, Chell, Silling, Dente, Laurik, Remain, Stanan, Cher again, Willa, Zach, Sales, Mong, Mart, Natham, Frano, Asham, No, oh, come on, good name. Come on, good name. Ander, Guarantine, Mashard, Baines, Perrin, Ramin, Rick, Kente. What a good last name. Lanen, yeah, that's pretty. Lens Lanen, Harness Lanen, Lorik Benson, Shannon Lent Benson, Pet, Terry, Miko, Vic, Tally, Rico, Norin. Oh, so difficult. Nathan, Dell, Lore, Feron, Laos, Parner, Mord, Gian, Rain, Dicko. Oh, come on! Good name here. Don't Alec, Yandrio, Chorus, Chorus Benson, Weston, Moraine, Ronald, Miko, Justin. Oh, come on, Burse, Lent, Rick, Zacco, Lenz, Wino, Kashano. Oh, come on, something good. Yeah, come on. Pert, Vanny, Merce, Holani, Justano, Derek Benson, Trek, Don, Mord, Rick Benson, Jesh, Manti, Justin, Rico, Nick, Caro, Yanu, Ashan, Ash Benson, Laurie, Vin, Jan, Vic, Netheriak Benson. Yeah, okay, and I know which one I'm gonna have out, and he's gonna be 18. So I'm gonna turn the sound back on. Just one moment here. Let me turn the sound back on and turn my sound back on and back into the game and finish. So somewhere between.
Well, friend, we've got some bad news. I guess that's hardly surprising given the other bad luck that's happened the last few days, but anyhow.
Okay, so somewhere between 14 and now 18, he went to this medium-sized village and he found a temple of Ogma, and that's where he trained his other skills. So he's been living there for this time, I think, or maybe the cleric taught him these first skills, and then he went to the medium city and signed up, or somehow met with someone from the crew here and signed up with them for this adventure to go to a new land, to make some money, to gain some knowledge. Yeah, and possibly overestimating his own skills here when he went so quickly to such an adventure. Anyway, I like this about the game, that you came from somewhere and then you're off on a boat to a totally new land. Then I also like the next parts that happen. But anyway, let's continue here. It seems like a few pages somehow got torn out of the Vigilance Passenger Manifest. I'll need you to sign the manifest again for you and the rest of your party. Yeah. It's only gonna be the one character. I'm not gonna make... You can make up to 4 other people. No. It's only gonna be this character here, because for me that's more interesting. Okay, have a lot of unusual things been happening on the ship? Aye, here and there. Some of the food we took on the last stop was spoiled, a number of our drinking barrels got ruptured. And just a few nights ago, Kalen, good man, got himself drunk and pitched headlong overboard, sunk before we could save him. Poor soul, indeed. But don't you worry, Vigilance been through. Vigilance been through worse in the past, and we'll be at Samargol shortly, so we can get new supplies there, fix some problems. Yeah. So his background is I think he learned everything from that cleric from his own village, then set off to the big village, or to the bigger village, and that's how he came in contact with this. Or he lived outside in a smaller village, a suburb, if you want to say so, and then went to the bigger coastal town. Yeah. Something like that. Well then, sign away. Yeah. Thank you. And now we level up. Character sheet here. And click level up. He's a favored soul. So he learned concentration, diplomacy, heal, lore, and spellcraft. Excuse me. And of course, praise. He got better at appraising, selling and buying and selling. And what did he learn? That one, the last one. And what did he also learn here? Maybe endure elements. Yeah, he learned how to endure the elements. Oh, I can't select one. And I level up again. And he learned, of course, the concentration, the diplomacy, the heal, the lore, and the spellcraft. And appraise, of course. So, I don't know. I'm kinda undecided here if he's gonna have learned all of this in his small little village, or if he learned the basic things in his village, then moved on to the town. The town was where he learned all of this level up, and then he went there. Yeah, I think that is better. So he learned to level 1 in the village, went to the town, and there at the temple he learned these things here. His additional spells, his additional concentration, diplomacy, heal, and lore. And that's how they helped him hook him up with this here little adventure. So what kind of additional feat did he learn? Ah, he became even better at spell penetration, even though he hasn't fought anything. He hasn't fought. No, he became better at healing. He hasn't been fighting, so how could he learn spell penetration? Well, he learned healing first. And here, excuse me, cause fear. No, endure elements. He learned defensive spells first. Oh, and he became a little bit more charismatic. Yes, concentration, diplomacy, heal, lore, and spellcraft, and of course appraise. Oh, I can select more appraise. So maybe he became a little bit better at spotting things. A little bit better. It came with the lore. He became a little bit more observant. And cure, of course, heal. 0, 2, 1. Lesser restoration, and I think maybe hold person. He learned an offensive spell then. Yeah, well, he learned this offensive spell before. Okay, are we still paused? One of the things here, let's move this to this. One of the things I don't like about the beginning here, well, you can kinda wiggle it in, is that he doesn't have any weapons on him. He goes on a boat trip without any weapons on him. It could be that his weapons are stored in some compartment in his room, like in a box in his room, in his cabin, and they are not allowed to carry weapons on deck. Maybe that way. Well, that's the only one of the small things I don't like here about the beginning. So let's carry on with our adventure. Let's click you. Say hello.
Greetings, passengers.
Wow, you said a lot. And here, what is this? Ah, this is this. Okay, and let's talk to this guy.
Now a storm brewing. This is more exciting than the time I found a rare scorpion in my boot. This trip has been quite the adventure.
Oh, has it now? Taunt. Yeah, having a storm coming that might kill us. That sure sounds exciting. Coughing a lot here. I don't want to taunt. He's not an asshole. You're quite the cheery one, aren't you? He's not an asshole. How so? Yeah, that's more polite. And more of his favorite soul, God of knowledge.
Why, the other day I was about to sit down to a delicious bowl of soup. And my word, I saw a pot of dolphins leaping through the water nearby. I was distracted and someone took my bowl. The soup within turned out to have gone bad.
Lucky.
So such a shame, but I'm grateful to those dolphins for saving me with their majesty. Reminds me of earlier when I had to leap out of the way of a maddened pelican, and a crate slipped from a rope and crashed where I had just been.
That does sound suspicious.
You think so? In my experience, sea travel has always been hazardous. It could be I am offended of her in some way. She is such a temperamental, I mean, magnificent goddess of the vast ocean.
Can't provoke the gods.
Good traveler, I'll strive to make amends to the goddess, but probably after this storm, don't you think? In the meantime, I should likely get below decks, as should you.
Okay, okay. Oof, that's zoomed out a lot. Let's talk to some more passengers. Let's change the view here. Which one is this? Character mode. Can I get
Look
in?
alive, you lovers! Passengers on deck!
No, can't click with this. Then I select this. Exploration
I'm not
mode.
in a talking mood right now.
Okay, okay. It's a dwarf. I think there was one of the subspecies of dwarf. Durgar, I forget.
You want to talk to Captain Lastry? She's got some
Steady
business
on,
to tend
Nerol!
to you.
Okay.
Storm brewing. And did the captain say we're nearly at Samargol? Oh, dear. I hope we can get there all right.
Water looks nice. Even though this game is a few years old. Yeah, water was one of the early things people mastered. In computer
Steady
graphics.
sailing, Captain.
Don't like the look of the storm, but the captain said not to worry. Do you think we'll reach Samargol alright? I hope so. I got spells to learn, money to make, and knowledge to gain. That's that guy again.
I hate landing in Samarak. That place is full of suspicious cowards.
Hey, that's good to
I
know.
want things battened down tight. Storm's coming, and I want nothing loose, or I'll let Master Kajin have the cat loose on you, mind?
Okay.
Glad we're landing soon. Take on some new food and water. After Joaquin died from that soup, I've been afraid to eat anything.
I better see those hatches battened down. Tight, lads and lasses.
Joaquin was the guy who stole that other guy's soup.
Got a job to do.
Very well.
Yo, this shouldn't be so frayed. Better add this to the list of weird things happening on the ship
Queen of the
lately.
Depths seems to like you, all right. How about you give Umberly a quick prayer? See if she'll be willing to let this gale slip by us, huh?
Okay. So it seems a lot of strange things are happening on the ship.
Don't know who to blame for all the stuff that's been going wrong. The Maid of Misfortune or the Sea
Up
Queen.
that
But
rigging,
the
you
Shaba or
layabouts!
Umberly.
I don't want
think
anything
even the Vigilant can
free
take
when
much
we're
more of
amidst
this.
ships in a gale.
Okay. Let's talk to you again.
Welcome back, traveler. Did you have a look at that passenger manifest?
Gonna do that now. And
Looks like Talos and Umberly aim to have a nice big fight brewing, trapping us in the middle like they do.
now is the time to save. Save game as favorite soul YouTube 1. Okay, so I'm gonna end this first video here. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see the next video about when things start to happen and my favorite part of this game. Okay everyone, good night, good soon fight.